Hi, everybody. This is a presentation, again, more on copper. We've been building our strategy at Camino over the last 5 years, but effectively, our strategy has been production. And of the 300 companies that are operating here, what differentiates Camino from the pack is that we're actually a company going into production. Okay? There's one or two, maybe three other companies that are greenfield copper mines that are going to start production or start construction this year, and we're the lead group, and we've done it before. My management team, some of them are here today. We built one of China's largest gold mines. So of the management teams that are out here, we actually have a team that can get out and build copper. And our strategy has been, when we get into a cycle, we want to be producing copper. We think like every cycle is different, and all these mining companies get built in different cycles through various entrepreneurs. We think this cycle is a production cycle where you actually make cash flow and you generate profitability during a copper market. Camino has been building this strategy over the last 3 years. We've been trying to buy as much copper as we can at the bottom of the cycle. So over that period of time, we've acquired 3 different assets. Starting in the south, we've got Puquios, fully permitted asset with a Japanese trading house as our largest partner. They're going to build and operate the mine. We've purchased Maria Cecilia, a large-scale porphyry system up in Peru. $30 million invested into that project. We'll drill that when we get into a better copper market. And then our flagship asset in Peru has been Los Chapitos, which is an IOCG asset that's had 30,000 meters of drilling on it. What we believe is that with these asset base, we can build our first mine in Chile, expand on that, and then build our second mine in Peru. So you're looking at a little junior company with an asset base that at these prices, our first stage of production in Puquios, we're trading about 1 times or 2 times EBITDA. These are the very compelling asset and business to be invested in this marketplace. Let's fly down to Chile so you can get a sense of what a mine looks like that is about to go into production. So we're based in Vancouver here. We go down to Santiago. Chile, Peru, the Congo are the 3 largest copper producers in the world. Those countries alone produce 50% of all the copper, and Chile is about 25% of that. We get down to La Serena, industrial town along the coastline. Our partner Nititsu is building 2 mines out of there. Puquios is our mine, and Arqueros is a $400 million mine that they're building as we speak. We drive up 2 hours to the town of Punta Colorada. This is where we keep all of our infrastructure. This is a reserve category project. So although we have lots of exploration to do on this asset, we've got a reserve category to put into production. And there you see it there, 48,000 meters of drilling. This was drilled over the last decade. This is how long it takes to put a mine into production. And what we're building here is the simplest copper mine, the least capital intensive, a solvent extraction electrowinning mine, SXEW. We're leaching soluble copper, that green copper there. We own our water wells. The water is permitted to take to the site. You need power. You need water. Our power station will drop a substation into VRIC power station here that you see that was built for Pascualama. From there, it's a 45-kilometer corridor up to Puquios on a road that is also maintained by VRIC. From there, we pull off of that road. It's about 2 kilometers up to Proyecto Puquios. And there you can see the earthworks ready to receive our SXEW plant. In fact, if you look at that this week, you'll see an office building there emerging. So we're in real time to build a mine in today's market and to generate cash flow in this market, and then to scale it up. It's gravity fed here. We're likely going to use a crushing system that we're familiar with, Sandvik, and the deposit sticks out of the ground. We're mining the top of a mountain, so low strip ratio, shallow open pit. We go down to about 80 meters, and all the green you see below there is phase 2 and phase 3 in terms of the expansion potential. We've got a large claim position in Chile. You'll see with our new shareholders, Elemental Royalties, there's lots of exploration upside potential on this project. and the potential just to go deeper and go to phase 2 and phase 3 and potentially double the size of this mine. The engineering has been done by a tier 1 engineering firm, Osenko. So this is what a new mine looks like. We're working on a debt facility now with our Japanese partners that will see us debt finance this about 70%. So that comes in the late spring. And then we start building this mine before June. And I say before June because our Japanese partners are finishing the construction of their Arqueros mine, and all those contractors they have at Arqueros, they want to move over to Puquios. So this is a company you can invest in today, get production during a copper cycle, and the execution risk is very low with our Japanese partners that build and operate mines in Chile and know how to make money in Chile. Nitetsu Mining, I mean, in terms of endorsements, okay, Nitetsu Mining has purchased 35% of our asset in Chile. They own, Peru, they own 50% of our asset in Chile. You can add to that Denham Capital that owns 40% of our company. They're a $10 billion private equity group. We've got a new investor, CGIC, that owns 10% of Nitetsu. They just purchased a 10% position in Camino just a few months ago. This is why we're starting to get recognized in the market. EMX Elemental, one of the significant royalty companies here, did two things. They bought a 1.25% royalty on Puquios for $8 million US. So you take 8 million divided by 1.25, that values that asset alone at over $600 million. That's asset number one. They also purchased an 8.5% interest in our company. And then with some other institutions, you can add the institutional base up to about 60 or 70% tightly held in our share price. This is why today at a price of under $1, we think is a very good investment because we've got shareholders that want to see us, number one, build Puquios, number two, grow Puquios, number three, start to build our second mine potentially in Peru, and then build from there. So what you see in terms of milestones, we're in real time here. Over the next few weeks, we have new drilling coming from Los Chapitos. We finished that drilling program on Christmas Eve. Those assays are into the lab now. It will put those assay results out in February. And then we start drilling again in March. And once we start drilling again in this market, we're just going to keep drilling Los Chapitos. We think we're halfway there to our second mine in terms of the resources that we have internally. And so we'll drill this out, and we expect this will be our second mine. And as a third endorsement, I mean, Rio Tinto has staked the ground next to us. Although the ground they staked is one of the world's largest sand dunes, in my opinion, so it's going to be hard to look under that. But nonetheless, we're on 3 major corridor trends in Peru. And once we get a market cap, once we get to a decent share price, you'll see us move on to Maria Cecilia potentially. This is an asset that's had $30 million invested into it, 5-kilometer long porphyry epithermal system. You can see some of our signature drill intercepts there, 40 plus 60 meters of 2% copper equivalent in this gold price. But our strategy really is to continue to build Puquios, scale it up, and then build our second mine, which is in Peru. So going forward, once we start construction, then you'll start to see us, in the latter half of the year and into next year, start to continue to drill Puquios to look at what's below the mine that we're building, see if we can go to 2 times or 3 times on the production there. In order to do that, we'll be using sulfide leaching technology that we're using in-house. You'll see that Nitetsu has a technology called polyferric. We'll be working through those studies as well with Nitetsu. And if you look at other technology companies out there, they alone trade for hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's another embedded value proposition that we have inside of Camino. I encourage you to take a look at our business today. We are a company that's just getting recognized in the world. And I go back to the fact that if you look at the 300 exploration companies here, there's maybe 1 or 2 that are building a new mine. There's some brownfield expansions that are going on. But if you want to get into a new investment, a new company on the ground floor, it's Camino. We've done this twice before. I'm the former CEO of a company called China Gold International. I'm the former CEO of a company called Lithium Americas. Okay, so this is a copper business that we're getting into. I encourage you, create a relationship with the company. You create a relationship by making an investment. Talk to us after we put our results out in February. Talk to us after we get our debt facility from our Japanese lender in the spring. And let's all build a copper mine. Let's build a company together here. And I encourage you all to follow our business. Thank you very much.